the Commissioners Board meeting for December the 18th. We are in person. We're also broadcasting via Microsoft Teams Town Hall and also on, I know. For those watching remotely, we have an echo in the audience. You down, lower right-hand side. Okay, not a problem. Actually, it is a problem. I asked Melissa, do you want to help out? It feels like I'm in, there, we got it. We got it. Well, we are off to an interesting beginning to the last meeting of the year. I want to note again, we are on live, also on Microsoft Teams Town Hall and on BCTV. We'll begin the meeting with a moment of silence followed by a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll recognize my executive assistant, Veronica Lepore, to read the public comment notice.
Good morning. Thank you. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used, Teams Q&A. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much. Are there any additions or corrections for the December 11th meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We did have two executive sessions, one on December the 11th dealing with litigation and another one yesterday, December the 17th, dealing with litigation and personnel. Do we have any public comment on specific agenda items? I see nothing online, nothing in person. We will begin this morning with a presentation of the final draft of the 2026 budget. And at this time, I want to recognize Laura Jones, Interim Chief Financial Officer, for the presentation. Laura.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us here to present today the final 2026 adopted budget. Only 4 short weeks ago, we were here presenting our proposed budget to the board on November 20th. As county code demands, we have presented a general fund expenditure budget and also an all funds budget, and have made that available for public inspection for the mandated 20 days. As code allows, we have made a few line item adjustments, but those changes are not significant. And therefore, today we present the final budgeted numbers to the board and will ask for the official adoption of the 2026 budget. We made some revenue adjustments, resulting in a net increase of $1.1 million. Those adjustments include the District Attorney's Office. We added additional grant funds for the National Forensic Science Improvement Act, and also some deferred funds from 2025 to 26 for the Law Foundation and DCED. For our 911 comm center, we added additional Title 35 fees. This was an updated analysis based on the receipt of fourth quarter actuals, allowing for an increase in the 2026 budget. However, that continues to flatline those revenues from 25 to 26. For facilities, we have an annex renovation reimbursement. This revenue relates to a capital project that has been postponed to 2026. So the reimbursement revenue is being deferred as well. Our county library systems, we have an increase in their state funding allocations. That was an increase of $100,000 for state aid and $25,000 for county coordination aid. For our prison, we have additional opioid settlement funds. This increase of funding is from the McKinley settlement funds to provide medically assisted treatments for addiction treatment. Along with our revenue adjustments, we also made some expense adjustments. Our total budgeted expense for all funds increased from $672.5 million to $690 million, resulting in an overall increase of $17.5 million. This includes personnel, salary, and benefit adjustments. We had no change in headcount, so in 2026, we will continue with our total FTE of 2,138. We did have a net increase in our stop-loss costs, which were offset by a lower pension expense. For our capital plan, that increased by $15.1 million. This includes carry forward projects of $13.4 million, previously budgeted and expected to be expended in 25 are now moved to 26. And we added some new projects for the adopted version in the amount of $1.7 million. Our total capital budget for 2026 is $33.2 million, which includes general fund balance funded projects of $10.4 million, bond funded projects of $22.7 million, and other funds projects of $8.9 million. For our area agency on aging, we have an increase of $1.3 million. They reallocated personnel costs and balanced their aging well fee-for-service revenues with additional contracted services for 2026. For the county library system, this is the increase in the expense to allow for the increased revenue allocation. For the prison, this is the increase in the expense to allow for the McKinley funded treatments. For our information systems department, we added a necessary Splash BI upgrade for 2026 and some small adjustments for our IT direct cost plan expense. For the district attorney's office, we added the expense related to the additional grant funds and deferred grant funds. And then we had some other various adjustments to the total expense amounting to $200,000. After all of our adjustments, we were still able to balance our budget with zero effect to our county tax rate. We had an all funds deficit of $13.5 million, mostly driven by the capital changes, which we will continue to fund with fund balance and in 2026 bond proceeds. But our budget, after adjusting for committed and assigned funds, is a balanced budget for 2026, which includes no tax increase, a continued tax rate of 9.013 mils, which in effect results in $901 of taxes per $100,000 of assessed value. To summarize the big picture, we are asking our Board of Commissioners to adopt a general fund budget of $291.6 million of revenues and $296.4 million of expenditures. County code requires the adoption of a general fund expenditure budget. However, in our county, we budget for all of our funds, and this budget contains $677.2 million of revenue for all funds and $690 million of expenditures. Our county's budget book contains department and function detail and will be available on our county's website immediately after the board meeting today. It is at this time I would like to ask the board for any questions or comments they might have, and I would turn it back to you.
Thank you very much, Laura. If you could go back one slide. I think in a time when a lot of budgets are facing tax increases or budgets have structural deficits that have been filled with one-time money, it's important to point out on this slide the difference between the total revenue and the total expense is overwhelmingly capital. And capital is a one-time expenditure being funded, in this case, I believe, out of fund balance. Is that correct?
Fund balance, bond proceeds.
Bond
and
proceeds, so it's a
liquid
combination.
fuels. Mhm.
But that's why it is a legitimate balanced budget. We are not using one-time money to fund ongoing expenses. That's what's called a structural deficit. We've done this on a pretty regular basis, and it's not an issue. So someone looking at, say, and I just know how the average person's would look and say, they're taking in 677 million, but they're spending 690 million. That's a deficit. It is technically, and that's why we show it, but it is not a structural deficit. It's one-time money, not reoccurring expenses. So thank you and your team for the work that you do. Many people may think that when you present your budget in November, work's done. There's a lot of work that has to go in place and a lot of checking and additional information coming into the budget. And you did a good job outlining some of those impacts, albeit relatively small, but important to note to the public. So thank you. Thank you, Bob, and thank you to the entire budget and finance team. As proud as I am of Laura and the new position she's going to be stepping into in the new year, she would be the first one to say she couldn't do this by herself, nor could Bob and Laura do this by herself. It takes a great team behind her, and we appreciate every one of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the great work. I do have a question before some comments. I know you use an estimated number, what you think our pension will end at for the year. What number did you use for the budget, and where are we at today with that number? If you know, I know we still have a couple weeks to go yet before the end of the year, but how is that so far?
I'll look up the current.
We based our budget on a year-end asset value of $639.5 million. And I saw just the other day, but we had already cut off just a couple of days ago, we were at $650 million. Quite frankly, I don't see any news, even today with the November CPI coming out, all items at 2.7%.
I saw that.
And core items excluding energy and food at 2.6. That was far lower than any economist had predicted. I think I was listening to Bloomberg News driving here, and they said 67 economists that they tracked had predicted it would be much higher than, not higher than that, not that low. So no one predicted that kind of inflation rate. And the markets are responding very favorably this morning because of that. So I short of some kind of geopolitical, economic, disaster that affects worldwide, I don't see us ending the year. I think we're going to end the year better than $639.5 million, which will also make the actual annual required contribution lower for next year than what we budgeted. So that's a good thing, though. We got
Have a positive impact on the budget as well.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So here's where we're at. As of the end of day yesterday, which that news was not yet out, we were down $644 million. However, as of this right now, the Dow is up 338.54. NASDAQ is up 319 on the news. So that's good. Laura and I, we did this last year, if you remember. I was back and forth in your office because I was watching it come down, and it ended up coming in lower than we had estimated. And this is the first good news I've seen. I've been watching it come down over the last week and a half, but looks like we're headed back up, and that's good news, but we're not at the end of the year. And the way
True.
this works, we don't get locked in until the end of the closing of the stock market on December 31st. So
Yeah.
That's
Hopefully
great.
it'll continue in the correct trend till the end of the year. Good. Yeah, I want to take the opportunity again to thank the both of you and your team as well, who's here sitting behind you. I know you work long days, long hours leading up to the budget. Bob, this is your last budget presentation, so thank you for your many years of service to the county. Laura, this is, I guess, your first of hopefully many budget presentations for the county. So thank you for the work you do, and to your team as well. And a lot of people look at being financially or fiscally responsible as not having any tax increases. And if we don't have to have a tax increase, that's great. But the reality is you can't go on forever without having tax increases and maintaining that structural stability that Berks County has. When you look at our bond rating, AAA plus, when we look at our reserves, when you look at our fiscal situation, it's a very strong, solid, we're in a very strong, solid place. But it doesn't mean that at some point we will have to have the tax increase. The cost of everything continues to go up: healthcare, salaries, utilities, pension, services that are provided, they continue to go up. And to be able to maintain the same level of service that the county provides now, our budget obviously has to go up, and it could go up if we generate more tax, if we have more properties that generate taxes. Unfortunately, those numbers with all the appeals have gone down a little, but there's a lot of construction, a lot of development going on, which should help in the future as well. So we're looking at growth in the county, but I look at being fiscally responsible and fiscally strong as those things again: bond rating, how we are with our operating costs. Are we maintaining it? Are we keeping it under inflation, which we've done for the past, I don't know how many years now. That's thanks to the work that you and the rest of our department heads do here to do that. We had our budget diet this year and last year, which was an additional savings of $1.8 million that we looked into. The savings and efficiency team, which you're a part of, continue to look at ways we can be more efficient, we can save money. All department heads are always looking at that. It's something we've tried to keep top of mind from the top down, just looking at ways, how can we be more efficient? How can we save money? When I meet with department heads, they say, this is what I've done, and they feel proud of ways they've been able to save money for the county. That's something we need to have as an ongoing process here, looking at ways we can be more efficient in how we spend taxpayer dollars.
So, Michael, you might
Yeah.
want to reference, I got this from budget.
Go ahead.
If you can show the screen, Melissa, should be up. This is what you were talking about.
Mhm.
You see the red line is inflation. The green line is Berks County's assessed property tax value. That's where we get our revenue. The blue line is what I call core county spending, or the county property tax. That's what people should be looking at. I often get asked the question, when are you going to cut our taxes? And I will say to the people, you're really asking the wrong question. It's like going to a sale at some retail store and it's 50% off. And so you're all excited. You need to be asking the question, it's 50% off of what? What's the baseline? And this chart really shows how the county has been responsible. Each of the blue line where it jumps, that's a tax increase. So you've had 1, 2, 3, there's actually been 4 total tax increases since 2008. And that is way under, about 27.1% increase up against a projected, and the 55.56 is projected where we will likely be later in 2026.
With inflation.
So I just thought
Yep.
you made that point. Great point. This is from budget, and it really demonstrates that.
That's good to see, because that demonstrates how really fiscally responsible Berks County has been with taxpayer dollars. Although we have to have the tax increases, but it's been well under inflation, and we've maintained the services provided at the county. And it's been an overall effort, budget department, as well as all our department heads, our COO team, and everyone here at the county. So thank you very much. Bob, I wish you the best in your retirement. May you have much health to be able to enjoy your new stage in life.
Well, your lips to my ears. Yeah, that's the plan.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one quick question, a general question. Laurie, we put the proposed budget essentially on the table November 20th. It's December 18th. It's open for public inspection and comment. Did we receive any comments from the public in that time period? Anybody?
None that I'm aware
No,
of.
okay.
We didn't have anybody come into our office. We have a general budget email. There was no information there. I did see some really good articles about our budget that were
Mhm.
shared in social media, Reading Eagle, Berks Spotlight, but we didn't receive any inquiries.
Okay, good. Well, thank you and Bob and your team for all the great work that you do. We appreciate it. I know it's been challenging for the county, for all the departments in this past year and the upcoming challenges that we foresee, but to pass a budget that has no tax increase, we appreciate that and we thank you for all your work. We also want to commend all the agencies here in the county and the work that they all do with their departments. As Commissioner Rivera mentioned, the budget diet was very successful and while challenging, I think we did a really good job in putting that forward. So thank you for all that you do. And Bob, as you know, we wish you the very best in your retirement. I know you'll be here for a little bit more, but make sure you come back and visit us, and I'll make sure we get a chance to go down and see a couple of Nova games together. So, at this point, Mr. Chairman, if it's appropriate, I would like to make a motion to pass the 2026 Berks County General Fund budget.
I will second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Discussion, and I believe each of us have an item. You want to lead us off, Commissioner Rivera?
Sure. I'll be reading our annual disclosure of conflict letter. And this basically lets the public know if there's any conflicts in any of the items that we need to vote on throughout the year. This is done on a yearly basis, and it is given to our chief clerk for the county for the records. Mine says, Dear Ms. Blauser, as required by Section 1103J of the Pennsylvania Public Official and Employee Ethics Act, and pursuant to an advice of counsel issued by the State Ethics Commission on December 6 of 2005 to Solicitor Christine M. Sadler, this is my written memorandum disclosing a conflict of interest respecting the funding as provided in the fiscal 2026 county budget to the Berks County Redevelopment Authority, the Center for Excellence in Local Government, the Council on Chemical Abuse, and the Reading Area Regional Airport Authority. Under the Ethics Act, my conflict arises from my appointment on the Berks County Blighted Property Review Committee of the Berks County Redevelopment Authority and on the Reading Area Regional Airport Authority. My conflict further arises from my appointment to the Community Advisory Board of the Center for Excellence in Local Government and my appointment on the SOS Berks Coalition of the Council on Chemical Abuse. Despite the nonprofit status of both CELG and COCA, case law establishes these organizations to be a business with which I am associated. Notwithstanding that I receive no personal economic benefit whatsoever from any of these entities, because these entities receive financial assistance from the county, I therefore may not provide a pecuniary benefit excepting under certain limited circumstances. Those certain limited circumstances include voting for financial support in my official capacity when my commissioner colleagues are similarly conflicted. Accordingly, despite my conflict of interest serving on the Community Advisory Board for the Center for Excellence in Local Government and the Reading Regional Airport, I may and will vote to provide our budgeted financial support to these entities. As to the budgeted support for the Berks County Redevelopment Authority and the Council on Chemical Abuse, I will abstain. And you may say, well, if you have conflict on 4, why will you be voting on 2 and not on the other 2? And that is because at least one other commissioner also has a conflict on the Center for Excellence in Local Government and the Reading Regional Airport Authority. Therefore, I need to vote to be able to pass anything because you need at least 2 out of the 3 votes. As to the other, which is the Berks County Redevelopment Authority and the Council on Chemical Abuse, I am the only commissioner that has a conflict with those 2. Therefore, I will abstain from voting on them. The exception would be if there is a vote where it's a one vote, I'm then able to vote to break that tie. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before I read my letter, I just want to update my motion, if I may. I want to change it to adopt the resolution authorizing the adoption of the 2026 Berks County budget and adding this and further establishing the 2026 real estate tax rate at 9.013 mils.
Is that a friendly amendment?
That's a friendly amendment. Yes,
Accept that
yes,
as a
Mr.
friendly
Chairman.
amendment. The main motion is now amended, and that is the current tax rate, just for clarification. Go ahead. Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay.
Actually, we should probably thank our solicitor.
Yes, she reminded me.
Oh, Chief Clerk caught it. Very good.
Okay. I'll read my disclosure of conflict letter to our Chief Clerk, Jessica Blauser, as required by Section 1103J of the Pennsylvania Public Official and Employee Ethics Act, and pursuant to an advice of counsel issued by the State Ethics Commission on December 6, 2005, to Solicitor Christine Sadler. This is my written memorandum disclosing a conflict of interest respecting the funding as provided in the fiscal 2026 county budget, the Reading Area Regional Airport Authority. Under the Ethics Act, my conflict arises from my appointment on the Reading Area Regional Airport Authority. Notwithstanding that I receive no personal economic benefit whatsoever from my appointment to the Airport Authority, because this entity receives financial assistance from the county, I therefore may not provide a pecuniary benefit except under certain limited circumstances. Those certain limited circumstances include voting for financial support in my official capacity when my commissioner colleagues are similarly conflicted. Accordingly, despite my conflict of interest, serving on the Reading Regional Airport Authority, I may and will vote to provide our budgeted financial support to this entity, signed by myself, Commissioner Berks County, Dante Santoni. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Commissioners Rivera and Santoni. I will also read my disclosure of conflict letter. Dear Mrs. Blauser, as required by Section 1103J of the Pennsylvania Public Officials and Employee Ethics Act and pursuant to advice of counsel issued by the State Ethics Commission on December 6, 2005, to Assistant Solicitor Christine M. Sadler, Assistant Solicitor at the time. This is my written memorandum disclosing a conflict of interest respecting the funding as provided in the fiscal 2026 county budget of the Berks Community Television Board of Directors. In addition, I serve as the Commissioner Representative on the Berks County Conservation District Board of Directors and the Berks County Water and Sewer Association, which is under the Center for Excellence in Local Government. Under the Ethics Act, my conflict arises from my appointment on the Berks Community Television Board of Directors, Berks County Conservation District Board of Directors, the Berks County Water and Sewer Association, the Reading Regional Airport Authority, and the Schuylkill River Passenger Rail Authority, notwithstanding that I receive no personal economic benefit whatsoever from any of these organizations. Case law establishes that despite their nonprofit status, these organizations are businesses with which I am associated and to which I therefore may not provide a pecuniary benefit excepting under certain limited circumstances. Those certain limited circumstances include voting for financial support in my official capacity when my commissioner colleagues are similarly conflicted. Accordingly, despite my conflict of interest serving on the Berks County Water and Sewer Association and the Reading Regional Airport Authority, I may and will vote to provide our budgeted financial support to the Center for Excellence in Local Government. As to the budgeted support for Community Television Board of Directors, Berks County Conservation District, and the Berks County Water and Sewer Association, and the Schuylkill River Passenger Rail Authority, I will abstain. And that is my letter for the record. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the 2026 Berks County budget signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried.
Chairman, can I make a
Commissioner
comment?
Rivera, yes.
I just want to, for those watching, clarify, because sometimes it happens when, although we did not have a tax increase, when you receive your property tax
Mm.
bill, your township may have done a property tax increase, so you will see a tax increase.
We're school.
And when you get the school bill next August, you may see one there as well. That has no relationship to the county. Your property taxes, it's part county, part municipality. The county part will not increase. The municipal part may increase, as well as the school part may as well. So just wanted to clarify that, because there seems to be confusion at times with that difference. Thank you.
Very good point. Okay, moving into the agenda, item 1, authorizing under that budget, adopt a resolution authorizing 2025 budget transfers in the amount of $3,340,000 and 2025 appropriations in the negative amount of $23,454,532 per listing dated December the 12th of 2025. We have one item under purchasing. Adopt a resolution authorizing a recommendation to award and further authorize the Director of Contracts and Procurement to execute a 3-year contract as a result of a request for proposals for actuarial services as defined herein. That goes to Gallagher Benefit Services, Inc. out of Berwyn, Pennsylvania. The first-year contract amount shall not exceed $53,450. The breakdown is listed below. I'm not going to read that. That is specifically for actuarial services for the county employee pension fund. And earlier this week, the retirement board met and made the recommendation to the Board of Commissioners to select and approve a contract with Gallagher. Human Resources, there are several items. Item 1, authorize the appointment of Michael Fizz to Chief Deputy Coroner in the Coroner's Office, and that's effective January the 5th. Item 2, authorize the appointment of Sean Young to Enterprise Support Technician in Information Systems. Item 3, authorize the appointment of James Johnson to Supervisor, Shelter Program, County of Berks Youth Shelter. Item 4, authorize the appointment of Robinette Killian to part-time registered nurse supervisor at the Berksheim. Item 5, authorize the promotion of Catherine Bush from correctional officer to sergeant, Berks County Jail. Item 6, authorize the promotion of Brandon Zafuto from Assistant Public Defender 1 to Assistant Public Defender 2 in the Public Defender's Office. Item 7, authorize the promotion of Nathaniel Griesbaum from Assistant District Attorney 1 to Assistant District Attorney 2 in the DA's office. Item 8, authorize the promotion of Cynthia Martinez Santiago from PFA facilitator to Judicial Coordinator in Court Administration. And item 9, authorize a $150 boot stipend for lieutenants and sergeants at the Berks County Jail. I have one item, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Mary Buer, Reading, PA, to the Berks County Area Agency on Aging Advisory Board for a 2-year term expiring in December 31st of 2027. Many of you will remember Mary Buer was my executive assistant for 14 years, retired several years ago, and recently when an opening was brought to my attention for the Area Agency Advisory Committee, I reached out to her. She actually, and people that know Mary, she's very thorough. She asked to have a meeting with Jessica Jones. She had that meeting and ultimately agreed to serve. 2 items under Commissioner Santoni. Item A, and you're going to be responsible. No, you are. I didn't appoint her or edit. I don't.
I'll
even-
try.
Adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Edit
Marmolejos. Marmolejos.
Yep,
Gil.
Marmolejos, yep.
See?
Marmolejos Gill.
Yep.
Very good. Reading, PA, to the Berks County Housing Authority Commission Board for a 5-year term expiring on December 31st of 2030. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Carolyn Rodino, Reading, PA, to Berks County Planning Commission for a 4-year term expiring on December 31st of 2029. There's several items listed under the commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution ratifying, confirming, and approving the Berks County Jail System submission of an application to the Department of Justice for the Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program for bulletproof vests. If awarded, the BVP program requires the County of Berks to provide at least a 50% of the cost of each qualifying vest purchased. This resolution shall further authorize the Chief Operations Officer to execute all documents and agreements necessary to facilitate and assist in obtaining the requested grant. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to sign the adoption agreement for the Valak Corbridge Section 457B Deferred Comp Plan, amending the plan to remove from Section 8.01A transfers the amount that, in order for the plan to allow a transfer of amounts deferred by an individual under the plan, a participant has had a severance from employment with transferring employer and is performing services for the employer maintaining the transferee plan. The adoption agreement shall be subject to final review and approval by the Solicitor's Office. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a letter to the Department of Health and Human Services Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services for the Medicare enrollment application for the Berksheim Nursing and Rehab, attesting the Board of Commissioners as officials of the County of Berks who have the authority to legally and financially bind the County of Berks to the laws, regulations, and program instructions of Medicare. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing the following. 1, Joshua Grove, Berksheim Administrator, to execute the CMS 855A authorized official certification statement for the institutional providers and assurance of compliance forms. Item 2, Elizabeth Ernst, Berksheim Director of Nursing, to execute the delegated official certification statement for institutional providers form. And 3, Sharon Ziegler, Berksheim Business Office Manager, to execute the electronic funds transfer authorization agreement form to be submitted to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services as attachments to the County of Berks Medicare enrollment application. Item E, adopt a resolution authorizing a letter of support for Kutztown Communities Partnerships application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Main Street Matters Program. Item F, adopt a resolution authorizing the Berks County Treasurer to increase the tax certification fee for Berks County real estate taxes from $25 to $40 effective January 1 of 2026. Item G, adopt a resolution authorizing Mitchell Darcourt, County Treasurer, to open a new bank account with Tompkins Community Bank, Reading, PA, for the collection of real estate taxes for West Reading Borough. Item H, adopt a resolution authorizing Brian Gottschall, Director of Emergency Services, to execute on behalf of Berks County a notice to proceed approving the placing of an order for communications equipment and services for subscriber radios as an amendment to the 700 MHz Digital Project 25 Public Safety Radio Network contract dated November 22nd, 2010 from Motorola Solutions, Inc., with final terms and conditions to be established and approved by the Solicitor's Office. Item I, adopt a resolution authorizing Brian Gottschall, Director of Emergency Services, to execute on behalf of Berks County a notice to proceed approving the placing of an order for communications equipment and services for 11 to 15 as referenced in the 700 MHZ Digital Project 25 Public Safety Radio Network contract dated November 22nd, 2010 for infrastructure maintenance, repair, and services from Motorola Solutions, Inc., with final terms and conditions to be established and approved by the Solicitor's Office. Item J, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the 19th Ward Pump Station Final Land Development Plan and Post-Construction Stormwater Management Instrument Filing Notice, subject to final review and approval by the Solicitor's Office. Item K, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the First Amendment to the construction license agreement for construction of a new wastewater pump station at Stonecliff Park by the City of Reading, subject to final review and approval by the Solicitor's Office. Item L, adopt a resolution authorizing Rex Levengood, Director of Facilities and Operations, to execute the landowner acknowledgement letter authorizing First Energy, doing business as Mid-Atlantic Interstate Transmissions, LLC, to prepare and submit a temporary driveway permit application to Bern Township for construction of temporary access driveways on property owned by the County of Berks along County Welfare and Hilltop Road. Item 2, a motion to authorize the execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the contract agenda listing dated December the 15th of 25. There are a total of 22 contracts, one with adult probation, one jointly with adult probation, Berks County Jail, juvenile probation, and the Sheriff's Office, one with the Assessment Office, one with Berksheim, one with Career Link, 3 with Children and Youth Services, 2 with the Commissioners, 1 with the Controller's Office, 1 with Court Administration, 1 with the Department of Emergency Services, 1 with Facilities and Operations, 3 with Human Resources, 2 with the Berks County Jail, 1 with Juvenile Probation, and 1 with Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities. Item 3, motion to authorize the execution of payments and electronic transfers for the week ending December 19th of 2025. Item 4, motion to authorize the execution of payments and electronic transfers for the week ending December 26th of 25 and January 2nd of 26, subject to final review and approval by the Chief Operations Officer or in his absence, the Deputy Chief Operations Officers. Just a note, that's because the normal commissioners meeting falls on Christmas and the following week on New Year's Day. Item 5, motion to authorize 2025 budget transfers and 2025 appropriations for the week ending December 26th of 2025 and January 2nd of 2026, subject to final review and approval by the Chief Operations Officer or in his absence, the Deputy Chief Operations Officer. And item 6, a motion to authorize the execution of employee payroll disbursements dated December 30th of 2025, subject to final review and approval by the Chief Operations Officer or in his absence, the Deputy Chief Operations Officer.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. With that, we'll move to reports of our treasurer and controller. We'll begin with our treasurer, Mitch Darcourt. Mitch.
Thank you, Commissioner. Today, we have an opening balance of $226,435,459.81. We have a balance declare of $7,214,469.60, leaving us with a balance of $219,220,990.21. Thank you.
So I have a question, Mitch. At what point are the cents going away because we're getting rid of the penny? And my understanding is they're moving towards rounding numbers so there's no sense. Am I correct? Any idea?
I know about the penny and I'm saving them, Commissioner. Hopefully we'll be able to cash them in.
Yep, they'll probably be like
Profit
wheat
center for
backs
the
were
county.
a number of years ago, wheat back pennies that
Stuff,
people
yeah,
save.
the wheat penny.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know what, I guess it'll all be zero once,
I think in a matter of time, everything's going to be zeroed out. I think you'll find that in retail. What will be interesting is when you put sales tax and stuff, it creates sense. It'll be interesting to see where they end up on that.
that's an issue for the treasurer of the United States to think.
Most likely. So that said,
I
go
thought
ahead.
one of you would make either that makes no sense joke or something like that, but guess you
Doesn't
did
make
it.
any sense.
Yeah.
Stick to your day job, Commissioner Rivera. That might have been funny someplace else, but
I thought one of you would were going to say it, but
you're probably right there. So with that, let's move to the controller's report and see if that makes any sense. Joe Rotaro.
Thank you, Chairman Limbach. And of course, this is a hard act to follow, so I'll just read through here. For the week ending December 19th, 2025, we have a total accounts payable of $5,403,887.66. We have a total employee payroll of $5,572,205.50 for a total cash disbursement of $10,976,093.16. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. We'll move now to our Chief Operations Officer, Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Limbach. First, our team would like to thank Budget and Finance for another outstanding budget year. Want to especially thank Bob for your 18 years together. I've learned a tremendous, you and I.
It's more.
You and I together, 18.
Oh, there
Pay
you
attention, Bob. You and I being together 18 years. I've learned so much from you, Bob. It's amazing. Your acumen and your expertise is just unmatched. Laura, especially to you with helping us navigate the other three counties and trying to formulate the Regional Youth Detention Center and all your efforts financially working with them. We've been on most, if not all of those calls with the other counties, and we think we're getting pretty darn close to having an agreement, hopefully early part of next year. So to your efforts, thank you. And to your team, see you guys in the halls, nights, weekends, and all that. It's just, you guys really put in the extra effort, and it's really recognized by our team. Also on behalf of the leadership team, which is of course COO team, legal, human resources, and budget and finance, want to thank the county staff for a great job this year once again, and to our residents, both of those groups, happy and healthy, prosperous New Year and a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving now to Commissioners' reports, Commissioner Rivera.
thank you, Commissioner Limbach. I only have some brief comments today. This past Monday, I was able to go to the Civil War Hospital dedication at City Park. It was a brisk 20 degrees with no sun out, but really interesting to learn what happened there in 1862 and 1863, what was up there. The county fair was held up there. The county jail was up in that area as well. So there's a lot of history up there. Actually brought even a map of what it looked like over the years, brought information about that hospital, how many volunteers they were there. And these were all women nurses that volunteered there during the Civil War. So very interesting, the history there. Maybe next time, if we have more time, I'll bring some information that I found relevant about that. But thank you to the group that did that, as well as to the city for allowing that to be placed there. Another item is yesterday was my 31st anniversary. It's hard to believe it.
Anniversary of what?
Wedding anniversary.
Oh, okay. Well,
Not anniversary here, wedding
Okay.
anniversary. It's hard to believe it's been 31 years. Makes me feel old. But congratulations and thank you to my wife, Zilka, for putting up with me for 31 years. I put on my post, if I have to go back and do it again, I wouldn't change a thing. So congratulations. This is our last board meeting for the year, as Commissioner Limbach had already mentioned. So for all of you that watch us in either in person or virtually, thank you for tuning in, wanting to learn more about the county. And I look forward to seeing you next year. We do not have an election board meeting today, so we will not have one for the rest of the year either, because we will not be here for the next 2 Thursdays. And to all, have a Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, happy holidays, and may the new year be a blessed one full of much health. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Rivera. Commissioner Dante Santoni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Couple brief things. Just also attended with Commissioner Rivera that event at City Park with regards to the marking of the Civil War hospital that was there in 1862, 1863. Just wanted to give a shout out to Teresa Adams, who sort of led the charge with the Upsilon Zeta chapter of the Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society sorority at Alvernia. Her and her members of her sorority and her group, her chapter were there. They sort of brought this to the forefront, and it was really, really interesting. Teresa Adams happens to be married to Charlie Adams, who many people know from WEEU days, and Charlie is a local historian and provided a lot of interesting information about that site. But it's pretty amazing that we had a Civil War hospital in City Park back in 1862 and 1863. I also had the pleasure of attending the menorah lighting ceremony at 5th and Penn night before last. Night before last. Rabbis Yosef Lipsker and Ted Prosnitz were there to lead in prayer and song, and it was very uplifting. I was talking to Rabbi Lipsker afterwards about all the challenges that have occurred this past week with the terrible tragedy in Sydney, Australia, with the Brown University shooting, the murder of Rob Reiner and his wife, and he was optimistic, and he told me, Dante, it's going to be okay. We've been through darker times, so it sort of uplifted the night, and I appreciate that from Rabbi Lipsker. We won't be here for the next couple of weeks. Christmas and New Year fall on a Thursday. We do have that first meeting in January. We also have a special meeting January the 5th, that first Monday, as well as our meeting on January 8th. So we look forward to the new year. And I too want to wish everyone a happy holiday season, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year to everyone here at the county, everyone out in all the residents and their families. And we wish you the very best as we head into, believe it or not, 2026. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Santoni. Very quickly, I want to just share a few items from my NACO board meeting down in Texas 2 weeks ago. One of the sessions involved, they call it County Storytellers Symposium, but these were executive directors from a variety of states talking about some of the challenges in changing state policy, federal policy. It's amazing what you learn from different entities, and something really stood out. Mark O'Connell is the executive director for the Wisconsin County Association. And he said for years, and my colleagues will relate to this, Budget will relate to this, their association hammered on the state about the problem with unfunded mandates. And it just, no matter what they did, it seemed to fall on deaf ears. And he said one day we realized what's important to them isn't important to us. And what's important to us isn't important to them, because at the end of the day, it comes down to what's your core funding. And counties overwhelmingly in Wisconsin, like in Pennsylvania, relied on property tax. The only thing the state saw was transfer tax as it related. The state relied on income and sales. And so they, as an association of counties, went to the state and said, look, maybe if we had a different taxing structure, we'd have similar concerns. And what happened in Wisconsin, the state ended up providing a portion of the sales tax to counties. So now counties in Wisconsin have a partial reliance on property tax and a partial reliance on sales tax. So what is happening to sales in Wisconsin is now also important to counties. And I just would point that out. That's something that I never heard anyone in all my years explain. Hey, the financial concerns of our state and what they're looking at in revenue is totally different than what our counties are looking at. I don't have an answer for that at this particular moment, but it's something I brought back. I'm going to be sharing with our board at the County Commissioners Association. I don't know if you've ever thought about that from a legislative side, but it's kind of fascinating when you think about that. It drives some of the differences between priorities of a legislature and governor and priorities of county leaders.
Right, sales tax, Philadelphia County and Allegheny County actually have the opportunity to use a percentage for that. And I think we've talked about that at the county level as well, to try to get, allow us to do the same. So good luck with that. I support giving us opportunities besides property tax to fund our services.
So just a couple other things from some other states. Utah Association of Counties, they're in a real crisis with their EMT, virtually outside of a few urban areas, Salt Lake City, Park City. Their EMTs are volunteers. And the counties were able to work with their state legislature and governor and provide health care for volunteer EMTs. I thought that was an interesting idea. They have to, in order to qualify, they have to provide a minimum number of hours. But again, something new that I learned. Texas, I don't know what to make out of this exactly. Texas has a 3.5% property tax cap. So no county in any year can raise taxes more than 3.5%. That, in theory, that sounds good, except in inflationary times, that could be a real serious challenge. However, that said, I will tell you, if Berks was under that, we would not have had to. That wouldn't have been an issue. We'd be, if we raised taxes 3.5% every single year over the last 18 years, we have a much higher tax rate than we have today. Texas is also trying to eliminate all property tax at the county level and go to sales tax. And I didn't know this, Texas has a constitutional law banning income tax. So that creates an interesting model. There were a lot of other things that we talked about, but I thought I'd just share some of those things that I learned from other states and how they are different than us, and potentially some of those ideas, in particular the Wisconsin concept, is something that might be applicable here in Pennsylvania. I also want to recognize all of our employees as we are here at the end of the year for the work that you do. We just had our holiday breakfast downtown and the North Campus. I pointed out for the first time since we've been doing these, the downtown campus ran out of food. I actually heard through a bird that Bob Petruzio was one of the people that came towards the end, and his choice was oatmeal or oatmeal. And there were other people that didn't have anything. I said to Commissioner Santoni, because I wasn't there, I had surgery on my finger that morning, but I went to the one at North Campus on Monday and I said, see what happens? I'm not there one time and everything falls apart. And Commissioner Santoni, what did you say?
Or because you weren't there, more people showed up.
So I gave him
Somebody
a
said
high
that. Could have been
five.
me.
And we actually did have about, what, a 30 to 40% more people show up than
They
what
did.
had registered for the event. So I think Commissioner Santoni's analysis was correct. But
They did. You never know. It could be. It could be.
And we do have someone on probation, vacant
Oh, I
probation.
know.
So
That's one of
we
the
won't
servers.
say what, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the servers.
Yeah.
Well, I participated in a number of events this week related to the season. I'm going to flip things around. I want to wish a Merry Christmas to all of our employees, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah to all of our employees. I especially want to give a shout out to our leadership team. Our leadership team meets on a regular basis, COO, HR, solicitor's office. I meet also with Bob and Laura. I really appreciate the candor, the at times brilliance of our participants. And our rule is very simple. There are no bad ideas. We want to hear everybody's ideas. Without this kind of leadership team, I, at least as a commissioner, would not be as effective in my role. We do this together. We do this as a team, and the power of the team is pretty incredible. When I screw up, I'm able to do that by myself. I own that. But when we succeed, even in sports, there's virtually no sport that somebody succeeds by themselves. I know somebody's going to say golf. You got a caddy. A caddy makes a huge difference. You have trainers. You have everything that we do. There are other people, often who aren't as visible, that make us successful. And in the county, our leadership team is a critical part of that, but so is every single employee. This week is Hanukkah, and we had the menorah lighting. That was cold as heck, definitely cold. We agreed everybody was bundled up and up close to everyone, and we sang some Hanukkah songs. One of them was the dreidel song. We went, several of us were at the Centro Hispano Christmas breakfast this week. We sang with the help of Dave Klein. And Dave Klein, people that don't know him, he is a gem for this county. He had the backup of the entire Reading High School choir doing a series of different Christmas songs, but one of them was a Hanukkah song, the dreidel song. So in the spirit of Hanukkah, which it is right now, we're in the midst of Hanukkah, and because of my love of the Philadelphia Eagles, I am going to share, if I can find it here, I'm going to share a song. I'm not going to sing it. So if you can bring this up on the screen. These are my friends, the Philadelphia Eagles, along with Howie Roseman, singing the dreidel song. Pardon.
Long? A little bit long.
So I saw that. I think this was actually from last year. Love it. The dreidel song is a neat song. It's easy to sing, but it's kind of amazing when you get a football team that can actually sing. If you're not familiar with that, look them up on YouTube. They really can sing well. And Jordan Mailata is actually a very talented singer. He was on what's where they dress up, The Masked Singer, a year or two ago. Just really talented. But again, to my Jewish friends, happy Hanukkah. Others, Merry Christmas, happy holidays. That brings us to any row officer comments.
I don't have anything at this time.
Just happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and thanks for your leadership.
Thank you. Any comments in person? And there are no comments online. That brings us to the end of our agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Meeting is adjourned.